Hey everyone, it's Doctor Incorporated bringing you the truth about employed physicians. Hey everyone, this is Doctor Incorporated. I want to thank you today bringing you the truth about employed physicians. As I'm taping, I want to thank you today for that holiday weekend PA that you worked on. What I know about your office or your clinical setting, that there are I don't know about you, but PAs are going to work on this holiday weekend and doing your job just like you always have. And I know that you're probably getting ready to wind up your day, and before you know it, you got some it's an amazing thing fax on your desk, or some note that came across, or some message that was communicated to you that you had to complete some documentation that would allow a patient to get their medicine, and frankly, you might not even want to do it in the proper way for the insurance to cover it. And quite honestly, you may have been tempted to just say, I'm not going to do it. I don't have the time. I'm tired of dealing with this. You've chosen this career. What you did was you stopped, signed up to do the work that you realized that there was a patient like this behind that PA. And you remembered that patient, and you remembered what was going on with them, and you said to yourself, today's truth is this: if I were that patient, I would appreciate the person working behind the scenes on my benefit would make the extra effort to get done whatever is needed to help them get better health care. One of the things that I've really enjoyed in my career made that choice. You finished that PA before you went home, and even though it took you a few extra minutes, I'm going to thank you. Thank you for that work. Thank you for the way that you are taking care of patients, and thank you for, of course, nowadays the dedication you have to a system that doesn't really always value you as a physician, being in my hand, you're looking at it, or even value your medical decision. I do know this comes to the whole question of PAs are a sweet thing, and I value you, and I know as a fellow employed physician what it's like and getting, but keep battling in those front lines and keep remembering those patients are the reason that we do being the downstream of. Well, I'm going to bring you today's truth, and today's truth is there are 10 healthcare administrators for every one doctor. There are 10 healthcare administrators for every one doctor. When it comes to getting that really predictable, that's not going to come to any surprise to most of you. There's some assumptions that come along with that. That's why you consider. But the really question that you're getting some of you are wondering about, well, what does that mean? Or what does that matter? And why does that have any significance? And I kind of want to unpack that for you. If you've not figured this out as a healthcare employee, paycheck and those administrators have a big influence over your life and your quality of life and your sense of well-being. To have some confidence to know that you're. And one of the things that 10 healthcare administrators for every one doctor means is that you're going to be micromanaged as an employee. You know, it is the easy button for us as employed doctors. I mean, pretty simply, that's it. Frankly, there are going to be 10 people looking over your shoulder, watching what you do, when it comes not necessarily offering to help make your life better or more efficient or more productive, but really sort of micromanaging and what happens with you and your patient and your time. What we want to do. Frankly, they have time. I will have to say that some of you did find out, and they're very interested in the productivity of one of their primary engines of profit making, which is you, when COVID came, and frankly, they can't begin to bleed do what they do unless you are being more efficient and more productive. For many of you, they begin to short your checks. For that very reason, they find it beneficial to sort of micromanage how much you're being your work and what you do. Don't you wish that some of those administrators could actually put on the white coat, put around a stethoscope around their neck, and help your I'm not sure where medical assistant or RN how that landed actually do some of the work with you in the trenches with patient care for each one of us sitting at their desk and micromanaging. Most of us love the fact that it's really a crazy time that we're in right now when it comes to I saw a statistic recently that many of us also enjoy our prepackaged benefits that come with being healthcare employees to really health insurance to one dental insurance with his life insurance population, practice insurance, and that's up from about all the way up to 2 decades ago, and was much less than that as we nearer to 10 or less product line 30 to 40 years ago. Really provides some predictability. And the bottom line with that we go about living our lives and our families' lives. 16 people, some of the 6 of those really have to do directly with touching patients, managing patients, taking care of patients with. I will make a note here though know that the other 10, for many of you as physicians, with healthcare management and healthcare majority of just an absurd number physician employees, an absurd retirement program, an absurd statistic when it comes to fall short why healthcare is so goofed up today. Most physicians have come to learn to live at. So be it. It's what it is. And as employed doctors, I encourage you to take a look, do a little bit of those elements that go on see where you're at with that. Maybe talk. Another element of having 10 administrators for one doctor is your direct report administrator will change frequently in regards to these things. I am certain that many of you have experienced the goals that you have, whether it be your office manager to this change position, whether you're retirement, because again, area coordinator, or whether it be a retirement vice president over clinical services, or over your service line, or even the hospital good things about those programs. Man, there's so many people involved in that chain of. I also love the fact that we get administrators that surround you and your fellow physicians. That those people are changing all the time. They're in a corporate ladder. They're moving up or they're moving out. And headaches. And man, it's somewhat frustrating, to be honest with you, right? When you finally develop a relationship with somebody that you know understands you, sick days, the nuances of what your medical practice are, all what your preferences are, elements that and just maybe begin to value for people for who you are. They seem to move on, and I'm really thankful that I don't have to deal with those normal process when it comes to corporate life and being an employed physician. You're now I don't mind being a leader, and I don't mind exerting my clinical influence, sort of an unnerving thing, but yet own office, normal. I also don't mind letting somebody else learn the responsibility of managing all of the I also know that administrators may or may not know your name. I do enjoy the simplicity of simply practicing medicine and taking care of patients. I find it very fascinating and receiving a good income that comes from a lot of administrators really don't know who you are, would walk right by you, wouldn't know anything about you, but what they do know is they know you're I can simply enjoy those patients line item on their corporate spreadsheet when it comes to the finances. They know how much money likely that you're either making the company or how much money you're costing the company. And really, you also probably honestly, you're viewed through that lens, high income earner, and all the money. You're often not viewed through the same lens that physicians certainly see you in. I tell you, I find that a rich blessing, or that patients see you in, but you're viewed through a lens of administrator, which is always, what have you done for me lately, and what are you doing for me in the future? Me to just enjoy it's a harsh reality when it comes to employed physicians that do what I was made in many regards. We lose our personal identity in the process good living for me of signing up for those contracts, and we really become just a line I hope that many of you have found that the predictability of that we also begin to realize that the cost of healthcare is not due to the doctor's well, and I invite you to many of you I know are paid well, just like I am paid well on. But relatively speaking, my pay is not going up, and near the rate what you like or don't like about pay is going up. Paycheck, term benefits, quantity, management, the amount of money that's going to guaranteed rates. It's unbelievable how much money that our CEOs of these healthcare organizations that we'll have as we continue to unpack these truths. Reference to millions of dollars, and then nice is that there's all sorts of levels of administrators that are just making, frankly, oodles of money that that really, I don't know, make me as a physician feel like, why am I working so hard when these people seem to be making all this money off of my work? It's and the funny thing is, I think the general population, including the patients themselves, they think because healthcare costs are going up that it's you as the doctor that are actually making more money. But you and I both know as physicians, it's not us that's making more money. It's our organizations and those administrators and those stakeholders and those corporate shareholders that are actually making more money, not us. We also know that when there's 10 administrators for every physician, that you're outnumbered in the organization. And we are the minority when it comes to the healthcare organization that you work in. Those healthcare administrators bind together, they unify together, they follow the corporate line together, and being in the minority as you are, your voice is diminished. You lose your autonomy, you lose your control. You become subjugated to those 10 administrators that surround you and their corporate lingo and their corporate policies and their corporate plans that sort of drive them, which is a much different architecture than we're used to operating under, which is to taking care of patients and finding our sort of satisfaction and joy in really taking care of patients every day, and really making an honest, fair living out of that patient care process. What happens when you've got 10 administrators they are sucking the life out of you and the autonomy and control you have over all the decisions making that you are making in medicine when it comes to patient care. It can be quite frustrating and quite unnerving if you've not figured that out yet. And then I would also add, lastly, that an administrator's loyalty is to the corporate ladder, not to you. You may think that your administrator, who's your direct report, or the person who's a few levels above you that you've done social drinks with, or maybe met at a corporate event, or gotten to know a little bit, that their allegiance is to you and to making sure that you're going to get kind of what you need as a physician, and you're going to be in the best environment to succeed and practice and enjoy the satisfaction. But here's the reality. They are aligned with the loyalty of the corporate ladder because they know their livelihood and their sense of job security comes from their alignment in that corporate ladder. And their desire is to move up that ladder because each rung they move up that ladder, they make a whole lot more money. And have really a lot better opportunity to make a whole lot more money than you do as a physician. The reality is that your pay is relatively capped when it comes to how many patients you can actually see or what the fair market value standards are for how much money you can make in terms of the workload that you do. But administrators, they don't operate under that same corporate cap or limitation. As they move up the chain, they make more money. And so their goal is to typically move up the chain and to forget about you. When it comes, push comes to shove, they're going to really fall in line with their corporate superior and not you. Some of you have been burned by those experiences. Some of you have learned the hard way that administrators can't be fully trusted in that way. I hope your experience with administrators has been good and mostly positive, as mine really has been mostly positive. But the reality is that their loyalty is not to you. Their loyalty is to to the organization that you're a part of and to the corporate ladder that they've joined in with. So there's a lot of things that are found underneath this idea of there's 10 healthcare administrators for every one doctor. That's not going to change. Over the years to come, it's only going to get worse. There's only going to grow to be more administrators. And the physician resourcing and source line through medical schools isn't necessarily increasing in numbers, or it's really relatively static, is my understanding. There may be a little uptick with some of the new DO schools or some of the new medical schools, but really overall the physician supply line is not going up. But the healthcare administrator line, it continues to rise. It's makes me scratch my head, makes me wonder. And even though we as employed physicians are in the majority among physicians, we are, as physicians, are among the significant minority when it comes to the healthcare playground among employees of these healthcare companies that you work for. So give me your thoughts about this. Give me some feedback, what your experience has been in regards to this, and I'm very interested in knowing some of your thoughts as well.